so excited to present to you today's six-figure mentor, Miss CeCe President. And I am so excited that you're going to hear her story. This is a woman that I met years ago, the first time at Power Networking. I saw her on stage. I met her afterwards. And I feel like ever since then, throughout the years, we keep meeting. And we've truly become friends, and she is one of my mentors. And so, CeCe, I'm so excited that you are here to share your story today. Thank you so much. And so before we kind of get into your story, can you just tell us a little bit about why entrepreneurship? Why did you choose entrepreneurship for you with all of your businesses?
Yeah. You know what? It's so interesting because for as long as I can remember, Tammy, like there's been something inside of me that just wanted more, you know? And so I remember literally starting my first business. I was in about the 4th or 5th grade, and I used to sell Pac-Man shaped French fries outside of my home in Cleveland, Ohio. And I would literally cut the potato in the shape of a pancake. Okay, so for your millennial VIP people, a Pac-Man is a little character, right? Like, I was telling the story recently, and a person was like, "What's a Pac-Man?" I was like, "Okay, got it." I would literally take the potato and cut it in the shape of a little Pac-Man, and I would sell it to people outside my home. And I did that because I was working the numbers, and I decided that the lemonade stand wouldn't profit me as much as the Pac-Man, right?
Wow.
So there was always something inside of me wanting more. And I'm telling you that drive came from, I wanted to buy a CD, not a CD, what do you call an album. Again, millennials, that's what music used to be called. It used to be on an album back in the day. I wanted to buy this album, and I didn't feel like I could ask my mother for the money to do it. So it was always about wanting something more. And, you know, I just got this bug in me, you know, as a 4th or 5th grader or whatever it was, that just never went away.
Wow.
You know, so I never wanted to be told no. Like, I always wanted to have the freedom to choose whatever I wanted, whether it was a Michael Jackson album or, you know, or whether it was working from my pajamas like I was, you know, 5 minutes before this video came on, right? Like, I just wanted the freedom to choose.
Wow.
And so that's why, yeah.
Wow. So can you tell us about like some of your first businesses? Because this is one of the things that I love about CeCe is every business, everything she puts her hand on, whether it's real estate, multi-level marketing, helping other speakers, you take your business to 6 figures. And I'm like, that is freaking amazing. And I think I remember one time you said, once you learn how to do it in one business, you can do it in another business. So can you just, let's go into your story. Like, how did it start? How did CeCe start?
Well, you know, it's so funny you say that, because I'm going to tell you, it didn't start out I didn't start out as a very successful business owner. So I don't talk about the 2 businesses I had prior to. Right? I just don't talk about those. We just skip those and go, yes, I created my first 7-figure business by age 34, right? Like, but we don't talk about the 2 failed businesses I had before that. So really what it was is, you know, I had this bug in me forever, and there was a lot that I needed to work out. And so, you know, back right after grad school, I started a very unsuccessful ISP company. I used to sell, again, for your millennials, dial-up internet service. You actually used to have to use a phone line to get internet access, you guys. And I had a business selling dial-up internet service. That didn't go so very well. You know, I had a business after that where we did website design, and we were a little bit more successful in that, right? We were a little bit more successful. But what it was is I kept doing 2 things. I kept learning. I kept being willing to fail. I kept being willing to try. I kept investing in myself and getting educated and finding a coach or finding a mentor. And I'm going to tell you what finally turned the key for me and moved me from a place where I had a failed business to a moderately successful business to my first 7-figure business was going to the Millionaire Mind Intensive, right? And it was really doing work around healing my heart because I didn't recognize the things that were holding me back and were pulling me back. Listen, people think that, listen, I can tell somebody, first do this, then do that, then do this, right? And if you do those three things, you'll create a six-figure business.
Yeah.
I can do it in my sleep. I can tell you in my sleep. Here's the reality. If there is something pulling you back, nagging at your heart, if there is an ache in your heart that you have not healed, you won't be able to do step one. You won't be able to move to step two. You'll hesitate before you do step three. And it's that hesitation. It's that, it's that friction that doesn't allow, your result to be the same as another person's result who doesn't have that friction. And so the biggest blessing that I ever gave myself was healing my heart around the things that were stopping me from living my absolute best life. So now, once those things were healed or healing, right? Because it's always a process. Once they were healing, then I could do 1, 2, and 3, and I started to see the results.
Yeah, that's so important. And in the time where I was a trainer for Millionaire Mind, that was what I loved about it. Like literally in a matter of a weekend, you could take someone who had no idea why they were seeing the results that they're seeing in their life. And in 3 days, it's like a complete transformation. And that's why I love doing this work so much. Because the truth is, anything you really want to learn about business, finance, you can go read a book. Look at all the books behind you. You can go read a book. But it is the experiential training that really helps you to understand what those hidden barriers and blocks are. So, can you tell us, like, maybe what was one of the hidden barriers that you had?
Woo! Yes, I can. We're in a safe space. I'm with your VIPers. I can definitely talk about that. So for me, a lot of my childhood trauma was wrapped in, these feelings of not being safe. Right. So when I was a little girl, age 4 years old, somebody crept into my bedroom and did things to me that you don't do to a 4-year-old. Yeah. And so I never felt safe. Right. So I couldn't do 1, 2, and 3 because I was always hesitating because I never felt safe, and the other part of never feeling safe was I also didn't feel worthy, right? Because somebody taught me that I don't get a say so. I'm not worth having a say over what happens to my body. So I'm not worthy. So, if I'm not worthy, maybe it's not as important for me to win in a certain situation. Oh, maybe I need to let somebody else win, or maybe I need to, or maybe I would constantly find myself, for example, doing things like, oh, I'll take less money for this because they need it more. Like crazy, weird things it's crazy to me now, but I would do that. Like I can tell you, I'll give you a perfect example. I remember being in 6th grade, 5th or 6th grade. I never remember. And I used to get bus tickets to travel to school in the morning. And on a few occasions, I was taken to school, so I had extra bus tickets. And I had 5 extra bus tickets. And I knew that I needed 2 of those to get me back and forth to school, and I could sell 3. I knew that. So I took the 3 bus tickets and put them on the right side that I was going to sell, and then the 2 bus tickets that I needed, put them on my left pocket. And then, so, I was like, you need bus tickets, right? And somebody was like, yep, I need 4 bus tickets. What do you think I did? I took the 3 and I took the 1. And I sold all those bus tickets knowing that wasn't going to give me enough to be able to get back to school. So I literally one day had to walk home from school because I wasn't worth having that bus ticket, you
Mm,
know?
yeah.
And that, and so that scenario played out in, in other businesses and, in my early businesses. It played out, it played itself out. I was healing it. It played itself out when I finally did, again, I said healing process, right? Because it's ongoing. Even though I broke through a lot of barriers in my third business, I grew from $0 to $5 million in about 36 months. But I could still feel that same sense of I am not enough. I am not worthy. I am, I am not safe. I still found it plaguing
Mm,
me in that business. So it's constantly a process of healing. And if I don't address it today, and I'm in a whole nother business now, if I don't address it today, I'll still see it creep back up and I have to pop it back down, right? And continue to work and continue to heal and continue to do the mindset work. 80% of this, you guys, 80% is all, your head and your heart.
yes.
80%.
Mm-hmm.
20%, the other 20% is in your hands, is in the actions, is in the actual doing of things. 80% is in your head and your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so true. Because I think for me, my big thing was I always thought that I wasn't worthy.
Mm-hmm.
I always felt that I wasn't worthy. And a lot of it was based on things that happened with my parents in their marriage,
Yeah.
seeing infidelity and thinking like that. And like, oh, well,
Yep.
if my mom wasn't important, then
Right.
I'm
How
not
am I important?
either.
Yep.
And so for years, it took me a long time to get over that. And I still work through it, those feelings of
It's
like, oh, yeah, you could have that. Yeah, of course you're worthy enough to have that, but, and if we don't deal with those things, what we end up having is a system where we're in a pattern,
mm-hmm.
just in a pattern, and we can't figure out how do we get out of it. And so I
Absolutely.
think a lot of people, that's why they struggle with starting the business or even getting it off the ground, because
Mm-hmm.
they're just stuck in that pattern of feeling like I'm not worthy, I don't do the things that I need to do, and therefore I see the same results, and then I say, oh, well, this doesn't work.
Absolutely. I'll tell you how I teach that concept. So the first time life breaks your heart,
Mm,
right? The first time life breaks your heart, you make 3 critical decisions, right? You decide something about yourself, which is an I am statement. I am, unworthy, right? So you create an I am statement. So something about yourself. You create something about the person or persons that were involved, and you make it people are, right?
mm-hmm.
And then you make a decision about life. Life is. So and what happens is you go through life being either the exact duplicate of those 3 decisions you made, or the dysfunctional opposite of those
Yes.
decisions, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do. And so you go through life, and every experience first gets filtered through that place of pain, and then you take action, and then you speak, and then you do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all filtered though through that place of pain. And so until we heal that, and again, just look, it's like any other scar. Right? It's like any other scar. You get a scar, but if stuff keeps poking at it, it gets re-injured and re-injured. It hurts again. So we have to constantly do things to protect that scar, to allow that scar to heal.
Yeah.
The exact same thing when life breaks our heart for the first time.
Wow. Oh gosh. Oh, thank you for that. Thank you so much for sharing that. I really
Absolutely.
appreciate that, because I think it's going to help a lot of people. So
Right.
then let's talk about, so you had the 2 failed businesses, and then all of a sudden went to the MMI. Yes. Worked some stuff out. And then you went on and created a business that went to 7 figures. Can you tell, how did you do that? Like, what was the mindset? What was the skill set that you needed to do that?
Yeah. So I started a real estate business. I call it an entrepreneurial seizure. So one day I decided I hated my job. I hated my clients. I hated everything. And I was just going to quit. I was going to quit right now. And I was going to start investing in real estate. So the first thing I did, and I literally did that. Like I literally did that. I quit 2 weeks later. I know I took a vacation and then turned in my 2-week notice. But the one thing that I did, the first thing that I did, it was a kind of a 3-step process. The first part of the process is I said, let me get my money right. And so I did things to get my finances in order. I refinanced my house. I paid off all of my other debt so that I felt like, and then I cut expenses where I could so that I wouldn't feel that pressure of, I got to make it work. So the first thing is I just got my financial house in order. So if you're going to start a business, make sure, and I had some, a part of all of this, I had some money saved up. So I had a little nest egg too to get started. So that's one, get your financial house in order. That was the first thing I did. Yeah. The second thing I did is I went and got myself educated. I went to to this workshop. Basically, it was a 5-day intensive workshop. I believe in investing in myself. Okay. I attended a 5-day intensive workshop all around real estate investing. And it was, and it was very intense. And like the workshop, it was gutter, you guys. Like he literally had held this workshop inside of the house that he was rehabbing, right? So it didn't cost him anything. Wow. But he gave great information. And so I got myself educated. And the third thing I did, I took massive, massive, massive action. And let me tell you, when I say massive action, like I would wake up every day. This was my day. I would wake up, I would go to the gym. I'm not a morning person, but so I would get up about 8, go to the gym, get back from the gym at 10:30. And from 11 a.m. until probably 11 p.m., I was in my office. I was grinding. I was listening to real estate radio. I was researching foreclosures in the area. I was understanding the market. Sometimes I was driving neighborhoods, whatever I could. I was sending out letters to people in foreclosure. I was in massive, massive action. What that man told me to do, even though it was so uncomfortable for me, it was so uncomfortable, I did it anyway. I remember, can I tell you about my first real estate deal? Okay. Very first one. So this man that taught the real estate class, he told us about this type of investing that you call subject to the existing financing. And basically, in a nutshell, what that means is somebody has a house, they have a mortgage on the house. You buy the house, you take ownership of the house. The house is deeded over to you. However, the loan stays in that person's name. So if you don't pay the loan, well, you lose the house, but it goes on their credit at the end of the day. And so you don't have to get a new loan or anything like that. And I remember saying when he first taught this concept, I was like, nobody in their right mind is going to let somebody buy their house and keep the dang on loan in their name. So my very first real estate deal, it was about 2 weeks after MMI, by the way. I talked to this owner who had a house that he wanted to sell. I had put this deal together that made sense for us, but I was like, he's never going to go for this. The deal required that not only he give me his house subject to, not only that, because his mortgage was greater than what the house was valued at, he needed to pay me $5,000 in addition to that.
Wow.
Right. And I remember, you guys, listen, I'm going to tell you what I did. I had a little voice recorder. I set up all night long. I had a little voice recorder, and every possible objection that he could give, I would record my response to that objection, right? And so I was like, well, and then if he says this, then I'm going to say this. And I would record it in the phone. I'd listen to it. And then he says this, I would say this, and I would record. And I did that until 4 a.m. Wow. Literally 4 a.m. I'll never forget. And then I remember talking to him at 9. And that conversation lasted less than 2 minutes. And he was like, absolutely, yes, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you. And I'm like, what in the world? It worked, right? But it was about, and all of it was so uncomfortable. What Tammy is going to teach you guys, it is going to be uncomfortable. Right? But listen, anything that you don't have in your life right now lies outside of your comfort zone. So that discomfort is just your indicator that you are going in the right direction. So do it. You invested in this program. You invested in it. Do it. Do what she says, because she's created the kind of success that you're looking for in your own lives.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. I love that. Because it really is, at the end of the day, it does come down to work ethic oftentimes. And part of that, I love the fact that you're like, I knew there would be objections, so I went ahead and prepared for that. Yeah. And I think so many times we don't prepare for the objection. And so when we get it, we don't know what to do. We're like, no.
Right.
What am I supposed to say?
Exactly. And you know what? And there are two parts to it. So one is being prepared for the objection. That's one part about it. Mm-hmm. But the second part, which is probably even more important, is being detached from the outcome. Because whether people say yes or whether people say no, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them.
Yeah.
You know, so he said yes to my deal, not because of me. He said yes to my deal because it worked for him, because it was a benefit to him. Listen, you guys, I asked him to pay me $5,000 and then take over the note. He was paying that note. He had been paying that note for months and months and months. He had already moved out of the state. He was paying his mortgage where he was living, and he was paying the mortgage on this house. So I was a blessing to him.
Right.
But there were many people that my deal didn't work for, and that's okay. We have to be detached from the outcome because it has nothing to do with us. Yeah. It has everything to do with what they need in their lives, what's right in their lives, what works in their lives, and nothing more.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, whatever your business or product is, it has to be of service to someone else. And so your job is simply to show them how this is going to serve them.
Yeah, absolutely. I have this framework that I teach around that concept. If you're in business, as an entrepreneur, here's your definition. You solve people's problems for profit. Mm-hmm. That's all you do. Yep. You know, and so, my challenge to people, my charge to people is about, being willing to answer other people's prayers. Just being willing. People are out here praying. People are praying for a program that teaches them how to create a six-figure business. People are praying for that. Yep. People are praying for somebody to come in and buy their home that's draining them financially. Mm-hmm. Yep. People are praying for a way to create residual income in the pockets of their day. Yeah. Right. And so our responsibilities are just to be the answer to other people's prayers, period.
Absolutely. Oh, I love it. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so after your real estate business, so this is the one thing I want people to know, because a lot of times we'll look at people who are really big, who are doing these amazing things, and we think, oh, okay, it was just this steady climb going up. But during your real estate business, we went through a recession.
We did.
Right?
And I participated thoroughly in that recession. Let me tell you.
And we're about to hit another recession. So a lot of people are going to be panicked about their businesses, about their homes. So can you talk a little bit about what you learned during that process and how you came out of that on the other side?
Absolutely. So absolutely. So after having grown this business to $5 million, and we were doing amazingly well, when the market shifted, in retrospect, I can tell you, we didn't shift. We kept doing the same process over and over and over again. And by this time, I had 13 employees. I had an office space. We had our own construction crew, right? Lots of people on the payroll, but we didn't shift. And, me, again, as the CEO of the business, I didn't shift fast enough in response to how the market was changing. And as a result of that, and I just kept pushing and trying to do the same things over and over and over again. I'm like, why is it not working? It's worked for the last 5 years. Why is it not working now? Well, the market had shifted, and I didn't listen. And I woke up one day, and I was severely depressed, 60 pounds overweight, and $2 million in debt. Wow. And I'm going to tell you, that was just being in that space of having created something so amazing. I mean, look, I am a girl from the hood of Cleveland, Ohio. Okay. I met my dad for the first time at 13 years old. My mother was a single mother with 4 daughters who never even graduated from high school.
Wow.
I was never supposed to see any level of success close to what I achieved. But then to find myself $2 million in debt and literally at a point where, you know, I had to get food from food pantries. Like it got that bad, you know, and so much of my self-esteem, so much of my everything was wrapped in all of that. So there was shame, there was failure, there was defeat, there was all of that, you know? And so the first thing I had to allow myself to do was just live in that space for a minute. Unfortunately, I lived in that space and I lived in that depression and that sadness and that, you know, space of nothingness for 2 years.
Wow.
Literally, I laid down on my life for 2 years. And so, which is why I'm even more emphatic about people. If you find yourself in anywhere close to that, look, you don't need to be $2 million in debt. You can be $2,000 in debt, and it might feel the same way for you. It just depends on your situation. The first thing I tell people is, nope, get up and run. If that's what you're feeling, get up and run, because 2 years is going to come.
Yep.
So spend the 2 years moving as fast as you can to get out of that place, right? Get out of that place. Don't lay down. Look, don't lay down. Don't lay down. Look, don't lay down, because listen, I promise you, life on the other side of that is beautiful and blissful, you know?
Yeah.
But you gotta run. You have to run like there's a dog chasing you.
Absolutely.
You know, and at that point, there was really a dog chasing me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been there. I've been there with my first business that I started, you know, started off pretty good. And then I was like, what did I do?
Right.
You know? And I had to move out of my home. I had to move in with a friend. Like it was awful. And I think the hardest part of all is you lose a part of your self-identity, because you see yourself as here. And then all of a sudden you're like, I can't even pay my bills. What is this? Who am I? You know? But just like you said, that was the moment when I really had to make a decision, and literally crying on my face, praying. And I was like, God, what do I do? And God said, you got to have faith. You have to have faith. And so can you talk a little bit just about what's been the power of faith as you've been going throughout your journey?
It's been absolutely everything. Because there are two words. There's a word that you mentioned that that for me plays into faith, and you said you made a decision, right? And decision means to cut off all other options. So my only option was to go up, right? My only option was to go to God. I didn't have anything. When I was down here, I had nothing else.
Yeah.
I had nothing else but God. I had nothing else but my faith. I could only, like, my own strength was not going to get me from here to there. My own strength. Look, I was down. Look, here's regular life. Here's $5 million. I was way down. Look, I was out the screen. Right? My strength by myself was not going to get me from here to 36 months later creating another 7-figure business. That was not my strength. That was my faith.
Yeah.
You know, that was I teach people there are 3 things that, like, when you are creating any kind of business, any kind of success, anything like that, you have to believe in 3 things, or 3 core things you have to believe in. The first one is the power of God, right? And I call him God. People call him the universe, whatever you call it, it's all the same thing. Right? But you have to believe in that power. There's something that is greater than you, that wants the absolute best for you. You have to believe in that. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your ability, that you can do it. You want to do it. You deserve to have it. You know, that you're worthy of it. You have to believe in you. And then you have to believe in that thing that you're doing, whatever it is, whether it's giving people transformation in their businesses, whether it's, selling widgets online, whatever it is, you have to believe in the power of that thing.
Yeah.
And so if you can't believe in those three, the power of God in yourself and whatever your venture is, you're not going to have enough momentum to move you forward.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Never.
Absolutely. And I love that. I love that because you're like, it's not just faith in God, it's also faith in yourself, but more importantly, also faith in what it is that you're promoting.
Absolutely.
Because if you have self-doubt on what it is that you're trying to build, or whether or not it actually will help people, you're going to be stagnant.
Yeah, you know what you're going to do? You're going to be like this, right? Yeah. Like, what did I say? That 1, 2, 3, right? And you're going to be trying to hesitate, getting from 1 to 2, and you look, you're going to fall through the cracks.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
Oh my gosh. So what was the business that you created after you went through the really hard time 36 months later?
Absolutely. I started an IT consulting business, which is hilarious because I can barely even program my iPhone, right? But I knew that there was a need. I knew that there was a need in the IT consulting space. My ex-husband had happened to have a lot of talent and skill in that area. But what he didn't have was the ability to really connect with people. And so if you were somebody who really has the ability to connect with people and love on people and listen to people, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how important listening is. And asking the right questions, you can solve another person's problem. So, so we had a good combination there, and that he had so much technical ability, and I had the ability to really listen to these CEOs and chief information officers, and even in not needing to necessarily speak all of their language, but speak enough of their language to listen to their real problem and understand how we could provide that solution, be able to communicate that solution. So that business, and that business is still going today. I sold it to my ex-husband. He's still doing amazingly well. The company, I don't know that they're still at 7 figures now, but I know that he's doing really, really great. But it was all about just listening, again, being an entrepreneur, solving people's problems for a profit, period. And it doesn't matter. It can be real estate, it can be IT, and now it's in health and wellness. Again, but the foundation is all the same.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. And let's talk about your health and wellness business, because you have a wonderful, thriving business. And let's tell everybody just a little bit about what it is that you do now.
Absolutely. So a couple years ago, just in coaching people, like I've been coaching business owners or people who wanted new and aspiring entrepreneurs for a very long time. And one of the things that was really clear to me, right, like we talked about, is I could tell somebody that ABC, but, and that 1, 2, 3, I could tell somebody that, but if I didn't help them heal, right, in those places they need to heal, they weren't going to get there. And then even sometimes when I did help them heal that, they didn't have the financial resources available to be able to truly start a business and grow it so that it thrives. And it was always something that was nagging at me. It was always something that was nagging at me that, while there were a lot of people that I helped produce some tremendous results, the reality is most of those people were people that, I would help their business go from $500,000 to $750,000, or, $250,000 to $2 million, or 1 million to 3 million. Mm-hmm. They had already broken a certain barrier. And I just truly had a heart for people like me, everyday, average, regular old folks that wanted to be entrepreneurs and wanted to start a business, and didn't have $50,000. Like listen, it cost me a lot of money to start both of my businesses, right? Mm-hmm. And, I just wanted to work with regular people who may not have had that. And so a couple of years ago, I was introduced to the most amazing health and wellness company. I was backstage at an event in Australia, and somebody asked me if I wanted a shake. And I was like, oh my God, this is delicious. What's in here? And they're like, water. And so one of my girlfriends, I know it's crazy. One of my girlfriends said, CeCe, do this. You have to do this with me. They're actually a health and wellness company. And you have the side effect that you'll have more energy and lose weight. I'm like, oh, we can lose weight. Hold on, right here. Sign me up. And it turned out to be a network marketing company. Now, I've been a traditional business owner all my life. So I was like a network marketing snob. Like, who would do network marketing?
Right.
But once I really understood, what it was, and it's just a different vehicle for, delivering products and services to market using the most effective form of advertising, which is word of mouth advertising. We all know that that's the most effective form of advertising. As I started understanding the industry and understanding, what my real job was in this industry, a light bulb went off and said, that told me, CeCe, this is it. Like, this is that thing that you've been looking for. This is, how do you help somebody who truly wants to be a business owner? They truly want to make a six-figure, a multiple six-figure, or seven-figure income. But they don't have, I used to, one of my old businesses, I invested in the stock market. Like I would have $150,000 cash in the stock market. Most people don't have that. The average American has less than $10,000 in their savings account.
Yeah.
Right. And so it was like a light bulb went off. Like I finally found this system that I could help somebody truly become an entrepreneur, learn the principles of building a business, help people heal their hearts, and look, help them get sexy at the same time, right? For less than $1,200, I could do that. For less than $600 in some cases. Like, Tammy, my website for my old business was $5,000.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? So for less than $1,200, somebody gets to start a business that comes with everything they could possibly need, not just to create a 5 or 6 or 7-figure income, but to truly create financial freedom in their lives and allow them to do the things that are in their heart. Like, it was such a gift for me. It was a while before I figured this all out, and it took me a minute to learn what the heck I was doing. But about 6 months later, after really getting intentional about this business, I had a job for a little bit, working with this amazing woman who is an international speaker and just does incredible work. And about 6 months later, I was able to retire from that job because of my network marketing business. So, and so now what I get really excited about is helping other people create that kind of financial transformation in their lives. I have a goal of creating 23 six-figure income earners by 2021. And I don't miss a goal. I just don't. Then it doesn't happen. So, and I love that because, one of the things that I know, Tammy, is in an entrepreneur, there is something that happens in their minds when they cross that six-figure mark. Like something pops, like something snaps, like a window opens, a door opens in their mind. Yeah. So when I take an entrepreneur to 6 figures, they'll create multiple 6 and 7 figures. Mm-hmm. They'll do that. Like I don't have to take them there. I just have to get them across that 6-figure mark. Yeah. So I developed this system that is proprietary to my team called 6-Figure Freedom. And that's what it's about. It's all about helping a new aspiring business owner or somebody who already has a business and wants real financial freedom. My other businesses gave me financial success, right? This business gives me financial freedom.
Yeah. I love that. And can you just brush on that a little bit? What is the difference? Because a lot of people do equate financial freedom to financial success. And some of the people I know who make the most money have no freedom whatsoever because they're tied to what's bringing them income. So what's the difference for you when it comes to financial success?
Absolutely. Listen, when I had that $5 million business, right? Let's talk about that one. Mm-hmm. or no, yeah, let's talk about that one. When I had that business, if I wasn't constantly buying houses, I wasn't making any money. You know, it's like the 5 million comes in, but then you spend 5 million, it's gone. There's right. So it's just success. It just comes and it goes. That's how I could go from 5 million to negative 2 million, because it was just financial success. Right. In my current business, I get financial freedom, meaning, you know, I built this to 7 figures one time. It is residual and it keeps coming over and over and over again. Let me tell you a story. So last year, almost exactly 1 year ago, my mother-in-law became sick and she went on a journey. And in 3 months, this woman went from healthy to hospice in 3 months. And in that moment, like something inside of me shifted. And I'm going to tell you, I truly put her on my back and willed her to live for 5 months. Tina.
I remember.
You definitely remember, right? You were one of those people. And I loved on her. I was with her every day. I advocated for her. The people at the hospital thought I kept asking me if I was a doctor because I was constantly researching. I did everything for 5 months. I gave energy to nothing else but that woman, right? For 5 months. I didn't work one single solitary day for 5 months. Yet, every Monday, each one of those 5 months, I got paid for my company.
Wow.
Because that's financial freedom.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what it's about. That's the difference.
Residual income.
Yeah, that's the difference.
That's the key.
That's the difference. That's the key. And listen, it takes, you know, I tell everybody, you know, it's not a get rich quick scheme, although there are plenty of people who got rich quick. But it's not that, right? It's something you put in work. You know, I tell people, look, this is a 4-year career. You invest 4 years part-time here, you'll create a minimum 6-figure income that you'll have for the rest of your life if you find the right company.
Right.
You partner with the right company. You invest 4 years. 4 years is going to come and go anyway.
Yes, it is.
Right? Invest 4 years part-time learning the essential skills. Listen, guys, there are only 7. Look, I keep this book on my desk. There are only 7. There are only 7 skills that you need to be a professional network marketer. Invest 4 years perfecting those skills. Partner with the right company. You'll have a 6-figure residual income for life, and you can create much, much more than that, just depending on how hard you decide to work. Yeah. And partnering with the right company with the right vehicle.
Partner with the right company, right?
Oh, yeah. Because again, I talk about it. There's a difference between network marketing and multi-level marketing, right? If you can do this in the network marketing company, I can assure you that the results in a multi-level marketing company are going to be the same because the company.
Yeah, tell them a little bit about the difference, because I love when you break it down.
Yeah, so let me tell you what a multi-level marketing company is. There are 2 kind of distinctions that really make a difference, and I'll talk about a couple of companies that fall into those categories. So, in a multi-level marketing company, so Avon, Herbalife, Mary Kay, okay? You need to go out and you need to purchase thousands of dollars worth of products. So, you buy $1,000 worth of products, you only get this amount of discount. But you buy $5,000 worth of products, you get this big of a discount. And $10,000 products, you get this big of a discount, right? And then it all gets delivered to your house. And then you got to go and sell retail. You running around like a crazy person trying to sell all this stuff to different people. That's multi-level marketing. That's one component of multi-level marketing, where you have to buy all of these products and then turn around and sell them. Network marketing, you just buy your own products that you need for your personal self. So in my case, our products are just your groceries, right? So you buy your groceries from your online grocery store, and now you pay an annual fee. It's $39. You pay that annual fee, you get your groceries at wholesale pricing, and you're in business.
Yeah.
So that's one big difference. You're not going out paying thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. You're only buying your own groceries. That's one. in a multi-level marketing company, you're only going to be paid. So you're paid in both of those, you're paid based on helping create a distribution network for your product, right? And in multi-level marketing, you'll paid 3, 4, 5, sometimes 7 levels, right? But if some super rock star like Tammy Washington shows up on your 8th level, oh well, sorry for you. Too bad. You don't get paid on Tammy. She's a rock star, but you don't get paid on Tammy because you're in a multi-level marketing company. You only get paid 7 levels. In network marketing, like in my company, you're paid to infinity. So it doesn't matter if, if the rock star Tammy comes in on your 2nd level, your 20th level, or your 200,000th level. Doesn't matter, right? You're still going to earn residual off of your entire organization to infinity. Yeah. So those are the biggest distinctions between multi-level marketing, network marketing. So, my point is invest. 4 years going to come. Mm-hmm. Look, by the year 2020, a quarter of the American population will have a side gig, 25%. So the question isn't, do you have a side gig? Is what is your side gig? Yeah. So if you want to have a side gig, if you have to have a side gig, you want a sophisticated side gig. You don't want one where you're still exchanging time for money. So if you're behind your car driving your Uber, you're still trading time for money. Yes. If you're making right. If you're doing your stuff for your little Etsy store, you making these cute little things on your Etsy store, you're still trading time for money. So if you're going to have a side hustle, make it a sophisticated side hustle, invest 4 years, and then that side hustle will create you a residual 6-figure business. I'm going to tell you, you'll never create a residual 6-figure in business with your Uber.
Right.
Can't happen.
Can't happen. And because I was like actually coaching somebody the other day who came to me, and and I was just kind of like, well, tell me about the money coming in, the money going out. And he said, well, I'm paying $200 every 2 weeks for my car. And I said, are you driving a BMW? He said, no, I'm driving a Kia. I said, why on earth are you paying $400 a month for a Kia? And I didn't realize it was because it was an Uber car. So you have to pay the $200. And I'm like, you do realize you're not actually making any money. But I got this car. But you're paying. So it's I think we, especially I think I would say in minority communities, have not really been taught how to truly earn income, invest that income, and make that income grow, which is why I am so passionate about just helping people break the pattern, break the cycle. Like, let's do something different. And really, let's get to the next level. But it comes with stopping. We have to stop thinking about things in terms of, okay, I'm going to do this real quick and I'm going to make some money, but really thinking about leverage. How can I leverage my wealth? How can I leverage my talent? Like even I'm thinking about that right now. How do I take my talent, the talent that I have, but use it in a bigger, better way that helps more people and actually brings more income into my home? So I think,
that's what it's all about. Listen, my life is about leverage. Financial freedom is about leverage. That's what it's about. Listen. So, right now I get to hang out with you. Yes? I don't call this work because I'm just like having fun hanging out with my girlfriend talking. But right now there are, I don't know, maybe just of my team that's actually actively building a business with me. They're about 500 people right now who are working. Mm-hmm. So let's say 500 people that are a part of my team that are actively looking to build their business are putting in 1 hour today on a Saturday. I just got 500 hours of work on my behalf. Yeah. While I'm sitting here chilling with my girl.
Yeah.
That's leverage. Mm-hmm. That's leverage. And if you can't, Warren Buffett, our most prolific investor ever, our most successful investor ever, he said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die.
Yes.
Tammy, we started this conversation talking about faith. I don't know what people believe, but I'm going to tell you the God that I subscribe to did not design me to work until I die. He designed me to thrive. He designed me to be abundant. He designed me for growth and contribution to his children. That's what we were designed for.
Yes.
You know, and as long as we live a life that's coin operated, right? You stick in a coin, you do some work. You stick in a coin, you do some work. You stick in as long as we're living that coin operated life, we can never, ever truly fulfill the life, fulfill the purpose that he dropped inside of each and every one of us. And that's what I believe.
I oh my gosh, I so agree with that. And I always say you were created to have dominion over your resources. I have this resource now. How do I take that and make more out of it? That's who you are. You're not a worker. You're supposed to have dominion over your resources. CeCe, every time I talk to you, I feel completely blessed.
I feel the same way talking to you, so it's perfect. Reciprocity.
Yes, I feel blessed. And I just want to say thank you so much for coming on today. Is there anything that you want to tell people? How can people get in touch with you? How can people listen to your 40 books in 40 days challenge? I love when you do those. I always try to get on Facebook Live and listen up because we're right here. Like, we love the same books. And when there's something that you've read that I haven't read yet, I'm like, yes, CeCe, give me the details. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, you guys, I would love to stay connected to you. You can find me anywhere. My tag is Just Ask CeCe, Just Ask CeCe. So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, if you type in Just Ask CeCe, you'll find me. But my name is CeCe President. I absolutely love helping people get fit, feel fabulous, and become financially free. So look me up.
Yay. Thank you so much, CeCe.
Thank you, darling. Thank you so much for letting me hang out with you guys, my VIP family.
Have a great day.
You too, darling. Bye-bye.